Perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. So excited to be with you guys again. Let us know where you're watching from, what you're drinking, all the usual things. And hello to those of you on Zoom with us. Super excited. Perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome. You're echoing again. There we go.
It does that. Like I still need to figure that out. Like when I launch from Zoom, it automatically brings it up. I'm like, great, it's working. But now
so what I did is when I did the solo one, I muted YouTube, like the tab on my browser, and that worked. So try that next time. Maybe that'll sort it out.
All right. Sorry for the interruption. I'm excited to have everyone on. Thank you so much for being here, spending your morning with us. And I'm really excited for today's conversation and really diving into what Reiki coaching is.
Absolutely. I think Christine and I have both seen how powerful this can be in our own practices. And so it's always such a joy when we get to share it with you guys and really show, I think so often you guys see the emails and watch these webinars and we talk about coaching, we talk about how powerful it is. And then there's always kind of that question of like, well, what is it really? And how are you teaching it? And why is it important in all of these questions? So today's webinar is really going to be geared toward answering all of those questions, showing you why coaching is so impactful and kind of taking you through those foundational tools that we teach to all of our coaching students, because we've seen again and again and again how powerful they really are. So while we're getting settled, while people are coming in, feel free to engage with us in the chat. We'll take breaks throughout to kind of check in, see how we're doing, answer any questions. And then of course, at the end, we do have our giveaway. So if you're here, if you want to enter into the giveaway to win a scholarship for the Reiki coaching program, be sure to comment, put your name in there so that I can write it down and you'll be entered into a drawing at the end of today's webinar.
Woohoo! Are we ready to dive in? I would love to know, let us know in the chats where you're watching from, what you're drinking. I've got my Americano with coconut milk going. I just kind of ate a banana really quick. Today was one of those mornings where I actually woke up extra early. It was like before 6, which is really abnormal for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually awake. I'm actually energized. I don't remember the last time this has happened. Let's go. So I am ready to go do this presentation this morning. I'm super excited. It's been an awesome morning thus far. And I just know it's going to continue that way. And that's the mindset I've got.
Yes, I love it. I'm just on water today, but I did have my latte this morning and I had a little kitty friend who wanted to share it with me. So she got the whipped cream off top and I had the latte. So off to a good morning over here as well. It can never be a bad morning when you're sharing whipped cream with a cat, right?
Right. Let's see. Totally.
We've got Melbourne, South Carolina. Hello. Canada, yay! We have so many Canadians in the community. I love it. It's so fun to watch. A couple weeks ago, we did a chakra analysis and I got put into a breakout room with about 8 members from the community. And I think 7 of them ended up being from Canada. It was so funny.
I love it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start screen sharing so everyone can see our presentation for today. So let me know if you can see that okay. Got it. Beautiful. Okay. I just want to make sure. There we go. All right. So here we are. The 7 foundational coaching techniques. I'm like, wait, did I read that right? The foundational coaching techniques we're bringing to you from Reiki Cafe University. If you don't know, Izzy and I love you guys. We love doing our jobs. Our work is for me, I can at least say I wake up every morning super grateful that this is what I get to do every day. I'm always in my zone of magic, always loving life because I get to serve my students and my students are my everything. And so this year it's been kind of a pivotal time because I have people who still ask me for sessions in my own even local community. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just focusing on being a teacher. I really, really love what I do and I get excited about it. So I'm really happy that that I get to teach. And here I am teaching this morning. And I just think that's a blessing. And I do still do Reiki coaching sessions every once in a while, but always my first priority is my students and teaching. And so I'm super glad to be here with you this morning, joined with Isabel Wells. She's been with Reiki Cafe now for 3 years, over 3 years now. And it's been a wild ride, and I couldn't have done all of this without her. I'm definitely the visionary. And what are we deciding to call you?
I think we said alchemist. I'm the alchemist to your visionary. So Christine has the big idea. She pulls in the energy from the divine. And then I'm the one who kind of makes it happen here on the physical plane. And so we make a really amazing team. And of course, I know that serves you all as well, because you get to see both of our different perspectives. And that's something that we really want to make sure that we're bringing to the table here at Reiki Cafe University, is understanding that it's okay to have your own perspectives. It's okay to do things outside of the box, to find your groove, to find your truth and step into it. And that's a huge thing that we focus on in the Reiki coaching program. And of course, that's a huge pillar of why coaching is so important in your practice, because it helps people be able to uncover the truth in themselves. And of course, you get to discover your truth along the way. So we are so incredibly grateful that we have this community where we can show up fully and authentically. And Christine can be the visionary and I can be the alchemist, and we can show up and show you how the universe can work absolute magic when you just step into your truth and what that looks like. So thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to be here with you guys.
And here we go, the 7 foundational coaching techniques that we're going to go over today. Here's what to expect. We're going to cover what is coaching, because I think there's a lot of Reiki practitioners that don't really fully comprehend or understand the coaching industry. And the coaching industry itself is very different than what we're offering. And so we want to cover what is coaching and why coaching, what's the purpose of coaching, and how can it help you in your practice. We're going to cover the overview of the 7 transformational techniques we teach our coaching students, what it looks like to be a Reiki coaching student within Reiki Cafe University. And then we're going to end with a drawing, a chance to win a Reiki coaching scholarship. We'll have multiple, so stay to the end so that you have a chance to win. So we'll
dive right in with what is coaching. And I think this is a question that, like we said at the beginning, gets asked over and over and over again, because of course you hear us share, and you've probably heard it in other spaces, because right now things like life coaching or spiritual coaching, all of these things are kind of buzzwords right now, right? And so Christine and I take a really foundational approach to coaching, right? That's why this podcast, this webinar is titled the way it is, because it's really important to understand what the role of a coach actually is. And so when we talk about coaching, what happens is in the client-coach relationship, clients come to coaches for new information. And so this is different than, for example, going to a therapist or going to a consultant, where you're looking to that person to tell you what to do or what to think or how you're feeling and gain clarity on that. What a coach is really there to do is create a really clear, really open container for clients to discover new information within themselves. So it's about holding the space, just like we do as Reiki practitioners, so that the client can heal themselves. But instead of focusing on an energetic or physical level of healing like we do in a Reiki session, we're focused on that psychological, emotional aspect of healing, which is part of why it's so powerful when we combine it with Reiki, because then we have the energetic and physical healing happening through the Reiki energy, but we're also supporting our clients on a psychological and emotional level through coaching. And so coaches really create that container for information to be revealed. We're not feeding that information to our clients. We're not trying to fill the container ourselves. Rather, we're just holding that space open so that the clients can find those answers. The clients can fill in that container. And so we always say that we don't have the answer. We just hold the space and the frequency to get curious about what the answer could be. And so that looks like, if you come in and you've been struggling with anxiety, let's say, maybe you've been going around and around and around in the circle of your mind with these anxious thoughts, like we do, right? Hello, monkey mind. And so you might not have the answer. You might feel as a client that you are stuck, that you don't know how you're going to get out of it. It just feels so overwhelming, et cetera, et cetera. All of these feelings that we've all experienced at some point in our lives. And so what happens when you come into a session with a coach is you're going to look to that coach to tell you, what's the answer? Why am I feeling so crappy? How can I feel better? But what the coach is going to do is they're going to help you find those answers inside of you. They're going to hold the space to get curious. They're going to take those worries that you have, those what ifs, and they're going to open them, and they're going to gently and lovingly hold space so that you can answer those questions. You can dive into the what if. You can dive into, where is this coming from? And so they take what to you might feel like fear and anxiety and apprehension about all of the unknowns, and they hold the space of curiosity and courage and love and compassion so that you can dive into the deep, having someone there to hold your hand and find the answers within yourself. Because I think we've all had that moment of realizing that if we come to the answer versus having someone else come to the answer, it's always more powerful, right? The metaphor that I give here is, we've all been angsty teenagers once, right? And we've all had our moms tell us something. And at the time we were like, no, that can't be right. And then 5 years later, come to find out that actually was right, but we needed to find it in our own life experience and in ourselves. And that's essentially what coaching does, is instead of giving you the answer, it opens the space and opens the pathway so that you can find the answer yourself.
Yes. So know that many of our students come from a background of being a Reiki teacher or a Reiki practitioner. And when their clients come in, they've second guessed themselves. They second guess about how much they're supposed to talk, what kind of information should they provide. And in the Reiki coaching space, a lot of that gets settled because you understand that if they ask you a question, instead of just giving them your answer, because if we just give them an answer and it hits up a limiting belief, which is often the case, we should on people, it will hit their limiting belief. And then it will just bounce off. It won't be embodied. But if we ask the client, what's the easiest way for you to come up with a solution, or what's the most dynamic way, or what's the most enjoyable way, or what's the funnest way to have this experience, they're going to self-discover what's going to be the right answer for them. And whatever their right answer is going to be the thing that they can move into the easiest without limiting beliefs getting in the way. And oftentimes when we can play with this, when we get curious with this, that's when those limiting beliefs that are like, oh, I can now see the limiting belief that I normally push up against, and we can also address that. And so it can be a really profound opportunity for the client to have these significant aha moments. So, and it's once again, the coach isn't the one providing the answer. That's a consultant. So if someone comes to me, what's the best way I can do my business? And I have my consulting cap on, I'm just going to tell them, this is X, Y, and Z. That's what you should do. That's a consultant, right? Whereas a coach would be like, well, let's get curious about this. Let's take all of these ideas and see which way we need to go, and let the client lead. And I think this is where so many Reiki practitioners have a difficulty time figuring it out if they haven't had the coaching training, because we just want to give away the answer. And oftentimes you don't see things being productive that way. The action isn't being taken because we're dealing with this limiting beliefs of the individual showing up. Okay.
Right. And that's why it does take that training, that amount of that container that Christine and I create in something like the Reiki coaching program, to really be able to learn how to hold space in that way, because it is in many ways against what we want to do as humans, right? Like our minds want to fix things. We want to give the answer. We want to make it better. We want to help. And as a coach, it's about coming to that understanding and that intrinsic knowledge and ability to understand that true healing comes from within. And it's just our job to hold the space open so that that understanding can be found.
Yes. So why coaching? If you haven't figured it out already, it's because when you have a client who self-discovers, it leads to the transformation and the commitment. They will have the significant, aha, I didn't even think about it that way. Oh my God, what a revelation. Or I knew I had mama issues, but I never thought it went this deep. They're having their self-discovery process which can provide these huge shifts. And so when that happens, it can uproot the subconscious limiting beliefs. It brings them to the surface for then the individual, the client, can make a conscious choice about, do I want to adhere to the limiting belief, or is it time to put that negative self-talk, that imposter syndrome, whatever it may be, is it time to put it in the backseat? Is it time to make a new choice and not let the subconscious take the wheel? And, the interesting thing is that about 95% of our everyday thoughts and actions are driven by the subconscious. But when we can bring the subconscious into the light, then we have conscious choice. And when we have conscious choice, we can have change. And when we have change, we have transformation. And when we have transformation, we have a better life. And so we want to really uproot and reveal what it is in our subconscious that needs healing. We all have stuff. And so when we can focus on where did these limiting beliefs come from, if we can find their origin point, recognize that we were just a child when that rooted in, and give ourselves the grace and forgiveness of knowing that that wasn't our fault. And then we can now apply it to, where do the beliefs stem out of that? And how do I normally in my everyday life live from there? And once we've uprooted it, once we've brought light to it, then you can see in your life, in your everyday life, how it's impacting you. So when you have coaching, you're going through this process to really heal that subconscious mind. And you're able to have a future orientation. And that future orientation means I'm not going to be drugged back to the past and what was, how my childhood was, who my ex-husband thought I was, what my high school sweetheart thought I was, whatever it was in the past that has been holding you down. We're going to change the orientation of, well, I can't do that because of this thing in the past. It's going to be, I am who I am, and I'm leading myself into the future to help you achieve the goals and provide the accountability to walk them along that journey.
Yeah. And I think when we talk about future orientation too, it's so powerful because it's not like we are putting our blinders on and we're never looking back, right? It's not like we're completely ignoring what's happened in the past, but what we're doing is we're taking those tendrils, we're taking those energetic streams that are going out of us and flowing into the past, and we're redirecting them. So we can say, yes, that happened. That was an experience that I had. Here are the things that I learned from it, but I no longer have to be stuck there. I no longer have to be sending energy back to keep those stories feeling relevant, to keep those stories alive. Because a lot of times what happens when we're in the past, when we have these stories that we've carried forward, is we start to hold on to them as our way to feel safe, as our way to feel secure, as our way to say, if I'm thinking about all of these things, then I can't get hurt, or I can't get blindsided, or other people can't think about it before I do, right? And so coaching gives the client the power, right? That empowerment to be able to say, it happened, I learned from it, and I no longer need to hold on to it. So we can redirect that flow of energy into something that's more productive, more aligned with what you truly want to be feeling, rather than being subconsciously pulled backward and backward and backward, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so this also is where, when we're empowering the client, we're not creating a codependent relationship. Oftentimes, we have clients in therapy who go to therapy for years and years and years. If we might have Reiki clients that come to us for a very long period of time, where they're not being able to find the solutions themselves. And we really want to create a relationship where we're empowering the client so that they can then self-discover eventually on their own. And so we create a package opportunity. This is moving out of the traditional 60-minute session and that like, this is what it's supposed to look like, because I know from experience, after seeing clients for years, that oftentimes clients will come back every single week or every month with the same exact problem. They haven't actually shifted. You're healing them for that moment, but then they adhered back to their self-conscious, subconscious, limiting belief systems that are so ingrained, and that the Reiki has the potential to go deeper with coaching. And so we're going to create a sacred space to have sacred conversations, to allow the client to come in for a set amount of time, do the healing work, doing the empowerment work, doing the embodiment practices, so that they can really have a shift, a pivotal shift in their life, so that they can move forward in that without the need of someone to constantly be hand-holding them and come fix their problems, right? We want to be able to be their guide, but not their fix-it person, right? And so this
Right. We want to be their support. We want to be their uplifter, but we don't want to be their crutch. And this is why it's so powerful when we combine it with Reiki, because I think we've all had these experiences where we have a really powerful Reiki session. It feels amazing. They have this big shift. They physically, energetically feel like a new person. And then the next week they come back and they're like, oh, I was just really struggling this week. And I felt good for a couple days after our session and it was great. And then all of a sudden I just woke up and I just felt awful again, and XYZ happened, and it really impacted me. And we've all had these clients, and I think as practitioners, as healers, we look at ourselves and we think, I should, quote unquote, be able to fix this. I should be able to do more, and I want to do more. I don't want this client to come back every week struggling or feeling out of place or feeling ungrounded and disconnected from themselves. And so what we do with coaching is we then take that energetic physical healing from Reiki, but we support it with that psychological background, because like Christine said, 95% of our daily actions, our daily lives, our thoughts, emotions is all subconscious, which means that when we're working with Reiki and clients have that experience where they're like, I feel good, that's only happening in 5% of their mind. In order to keep that good feeling lasting, in order to keep that transformation pulling through to every aspect of their lives, we have to be able to impact the other 95% that we're not necessarily getting to in a single Reiki session. And this is why coaching is so powerful, because it takes that beautiful healing container that we have in Reiki and it pulls it even deeper and deeper and deeper into the full human being, so that that transformation can infiltrate all areas of their life and continue to last. And so I always say, as a coach, my goal is that I never see you again. Not because I don't want to, not because I don't want you to heal, but because I want you to feel so empowered, so healed, so set in the transformation that has occurred, that after a couple sessions, you don't need to come back. You know, I don't want to see you on my table week after week after week, because I want you to be making progress so that you don't have to come back, right? And again, it's not that we don't love our clients, right? We love what we do, but it's that difference between wanting them to be empowered, wanting them to be able to step in their truth and experience a transformation that lasts more than just a couple days.
Yeah. And beyond the client that says, what happened during the session? Tell me everything. And turn it back to them going, well, what's your self-discovery process? How did it feel for you? And, you know, so we're bringing that Reiki in as the foundation. And when we have Reiki as the foundation for the coaching sessions, for our Reiki sessions, while we mix it with coaching, we have also the opportunity to mix in the other modalities that you've already learned. There are many of our students who have other offerings, whether it's mediumship or whether it's tarot or whether it's crystals or whatever. There's so many beautiful modalities out there, but when you can combine it with coaching and make something unique to you, you set yourself apart from the rest of the industry because you have something unique. And so part of our program is really allowing you to identify how you want to hold your practice, how you want to create something unique for you to set yourself apart and really have that prosperous business that you deserve. Okay. And so if you have those limiting beliefs of, I'm not worthy of that, we're going to work on that too. Okay. So these are the 7 coaching techniques that we're going to cover, not only today, but deep dive in our program. So we have life balance wheels, SMART goals, body metaphors, chakra up and down, future envisioning, 5D chakra upgrade, and soul speak. And we're going to go over in this presentation each one of them, so you understand that if you join the Reiki coaching program, you know exactly what kind of techniques we're going to teach you. And this is going to be different than other coaching programs, because once again, not only are you learning these specific techniques, everything has a Reiki intertwined in it. Everything involves Reiki and that spiritual component. So if you're thinking, oh my God, SMART goals, not that again, I tell you, we do it different.
Beautiful. So coaching technique number one is life balance wheel. And this is something where we give our students this technique right off the bat. This is something that they see not in the first module, but even in orientation, because it's so important. And like the title of today's podcast, it's so foundational. And so what the life balance wheel does is it's a tool that divides life into 10 essential categories, things like fun and play, physical environment, finances, health and wellness, partnership, relationships, business and career, all of these foundational aspects of our life that often kind of get molded together into one, right? Like we ask ourselves, am I happy? Am I successful? Am I doing well? But we don't think to break it out into all of these different slices of the pie that make up a full, well-rounded life. And so when we're looking at the life balance wheel, when we've separated out into these 10 aspects, we then ask the client to rate, how are you feeling in each one of these on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is completely unfulfilled, super out of alignment, feeling frustrated, feeling defeated, feeling overwhelmed, nothing good is happening here. And 10 is things are flowing. It's exactly the way I want it to be. I feel expansive. I feel aligned. I feel excited. I feel motivated, all of these things. And we ask them to rate their life on that 0 to 10 scale for each of these 10 slices. And then we put that aside and we say, okay, if you could have your desired reality, if your dreams became your reality, what would that rating look like on each of these 10 life parts? And then you can compare. You can say, look, here, I'm doing really well in fun and play. Like right now it's an 8, and in my dream reality, it's a 9. So we're pretty close to what I would want it to be. Whereas maybe in finances, we're at a 2 and we want it to be an 8. And so it gives you this really tangible, very poignant way to look at your life and say, here are the places that I actually want to improve. And from there, once you have this all laid out in front of you, you can decide what's going to be my, what we call potent priority. What's the one slice of that life pie that I want to focus on? Knowing that the more energy, the more expansion, the more flow we bring into one area of life, it will impact all of the others. And then working with the tools and techniques that you learn as a coach, we give the client actionable steps, actionable things that they can do actively in their day-to-day life to help achieve their goal of what they want their desired reality to look like, things that they can do to support their potent priority as they move forward.
And those things are self-discovered by the client. So if it's, what are 3 things that you can do for your personal growth? They self-discover their own answer that they can know that they can commit to, right? And so the reason why I love Life Balance Wheel is not only does it give clarity of your goals and like the steps that you want to take to really come to terms and to manifest your desired reality. This is a great, fantastic transformational tool if you have a client who's really stuck on one wedge. So like, let's say they're going through a divorce and it's taking up 95% of their energy and their focus. They're all focused on their divorce. And that's the only thing that they can see. But when we open up the bigger, broader picture and they go realize, wow, my friends and family are like at a 9. I have so much incredible support. And oh, wow, I've had so much healing in this last year. That's also really high. My finances are good. I'm not stressed about this. And they can see how much expansiveness is in all these other areas. It helps them recognize that what they're going through is just in this moment. It's not their whole world. And so in that moment, it can be a huge, profound shift for them to see it with a wider perspective. And that's a huge part of this. And so we have this new perspective, we have this clarity. We also have a lot of support here in solar plexus and root chakra energy. So if they need a plan, root chakra is going to be showing up for them for this, because it's going to allow them to kind of get into each one a little bit deeper and go, what's going to be for you to make this even more expansive and get and play there for a little while. So this, I love this technique. I really do. And that's why it's like, it's an orientation, because I think right away we need to discover a clear, concise picture of where our life is now and where we want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'll notice as we continue to go through these, that each one of these techniques links in with a particular chakra. Obviously, they're all going to be supportive all around, but certain ones have elements that enhance the energy of particular chakras. So if you have a client coming in and through your Reiki practice, you've noticed their root chakra is feeling a little ungrounded, they're not feeling as concentrated there, then life balance wheel is a really good one for helping to support and uplift that root chakra energy. Maybe we move there next. And so it's this really integrative way of, again, supporting your client on all levels.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Ready for number 2? We have coaching techniques, SMART goals. And for some reason, our picture isn't showing up. It's a beautiful picture of like a coaching session, but I'm going to leave it for now because I want to get through this demonstration. So SMART goals, it's an acronym to help you achieve your goals. So S is for specific, simple, see yourself in the picture, and sensory. So we're going to not only teach you how to do these steps, the simple, the M for meaning measurable, the A for aim for the moon, as if now, R resources, reason to achieve, responsibly ecological, and T for timed and toward. We're going to take this and we're going to throw in a lot of flowy Reiki energy to it, because this can be a very much root chakra. Let's list it out and let's do everything from our conscious mind, right? Like most people, when they have heard of SMART goals previously, let me know if you have. If you've ever done SMART goals before, I promise you it's not the way that Reiki coaching would do it, because Reiki has to be the foundation. When Reiki is the foundation, we're bringing them into a beautiful space that's similar to a guided meditation as you move through this process. And when you allow your client to get into that alpha wave, maybe perhaps even the theta wave, you're allowing the client to dive into and dip their toes in to the subconscious mind of their true desires versus what their brain and their logical mind thinks would be most reasonable. We want to bypass that as much as we can as we learn Reiki coaching techniques, because when we do that, we're allowing them to have a deeper, more profound experience because we're healing at the subconscious level. So even though this is really great for goal setting, and you might have a client that is a businessman and they just really want it straight up, and that's fine. You'll know how to do that too. But wow, what transformation can occur when you take SMART goals and you let it match in a guided meditation type format.
Yeah. And so that's, I think, the real difference here in how we teach SMART goals is this is something that we do with every student at the beginning of the program. So they do it for themselves and then they learn how to do it for others. And you'll notice when we do it that it's very much in that meditative state of let's drop into ourselves. Let's envision what it is we want in the future. Let's put ourselves in that state. Let's find that meditative open space where we can call in that divine inspiration and see what is possible in the future. What do I want? What's calling to me on a soul level? And then can we take that crown chakra perspective? Can we take that expansive divine energy and bring it down to the level of the human, bring it down to that physical level, where then we can make it seem, just like the acronym says, specific, meaningful, achievable, all of these things. So we can bring it in and we can say, okay, here's the vision. Here's what is meant for you. Now let's look at what feels right, what feels good to do to achieve these goals, to bring that vision into your reality. And so it's very much more about finding those two energetic wavelengths, where you are now and where you want to go, and seeing how you can meld them together in a practical, achievable way so that you're allowing yourself to aim for the moon with your goals and also feel like they're not overwhelming, but they are absolutely possible because you know that you're supported by Reiki and by the divine in achieving your desires.
Yes. Moving on to coaching tech number 3 in Reiki coaching is embodying metaphors. Now, I love this one because it has a similar feel to, once again, that guided meditation, but you're going to take embodying metaphors, which is a powerful way to process emotional stressor and view the activity from the subconscious mind. And I know you keep hearing subconscious mind because we're going to go over so much about how the subconscious mind works and what it means, right, in our Reiki coaching program. So in this particular method, we're taking the subconscious mind and we're diving into it to allow it to show and reveal itself through symbology. So we're taking a triggering emotion. So if a client comes in and they're crying, or if a client comes in and they're ready to rage and they're just angry, or they're just overwhelmed in a particular emotion, this is the solution. Like, it's amazing to allow their brain to go from really focusing on the emotion to seeing it through a symbolic way. And when they see it through a symbolic way, they self-discover answers for them. And it just allows that emotional energy to move and process through the body and release. So as we know, as Reiki practitioners, emotions are just energy in motion. Embodying metaphors allows that energy to move through. And this is a practice that's so beautifully matched and paired with Reiki.
And this is absolutely hands down one of my favorite coaching techniques. And what you'll find as you step into the program, as you start to learn all of these, is that there will be techniques that resonate with you more than others based on your particular style of coaching. And that's okay. And that's why, partially why, we teach such a range of techniques, is because it's going to call out to you and to your clients in a different way, depending on their and your needs. And so for me, embodying metaphors is one of my absolute favorites, because time and time and time again, when a client comes in and they have an emotional struggle, or they're feeling stuck, or we're going through a different coaching technique and we come across a limiting belief that brings up a big emotion, embodying metaphors is such a beautiful, easy, and quick way to fully process our emotions. And it creates such profound and visible results every single time. I have never stepped into a coaching session and done embodying metaphors and not seen an amazing result. It's just that powerful, because as humans, we have a tendency to stuff down our emotions. And so what embodying metaphors does is it allows us to bring up that emotion, but then make it something else, right? Like maybe this profound sadness that you're feeling feels like a mushy bowl of Jello, or maybe this anger that you're feeling feels like a cactus. And so we take that image that comes to mind and we move through it, and we use it to allow your emotions to become accessible to you beyond the conscious filter of your mind, so that you can feel safe and empowered to be able to process them in a really healthy and powerful way. And so embodying metaphors is very much more in our sacral or heart chakra energy. It has more of that fluidity, more of that emotional context. And so it's really good for emotional suffering, processing memories that have gotten stuck, or releasing trapped emotions or beliefs. And so when that client needs more of that emotional, energetic support, embodying metaphors is always the first thing that I turn to.
And talk about shadow work. Like, this is very much shadow work 101 right here. So cannot wait to dive in with you in the Reiki coaching program on this one for sure. So coaching technique number 4, I call it chakra up and down. And the reason why is it's once again allowing your clients to see where they are. So this modality allows us to guide clients along a scale of chakra energy, bringing them into a detailed place if they're stuck in the big picture vision. So many Reiki practitioners, big ideas, so much things happening in their visionary world. And I'm right there with you. Just as we began, I'm the visionary. Like, I have lots of ideas all floating around that I want to manifest in the world. But those types of people have a really hard time activating it and bringing it down into 3D reality. So coaching them down into a more grounded and detailed place is going to support them. Now, if you have the opposite clients, I also have clients that get so buried in the details of what they need to do to create their Reiki business and have a checklist and do A, B, and C and like all of the details and have the business plan, but they don't have forgotten for what purpose. For what purpose am I doing this? And so when they're bogged down in the details, they need to have a bigger perspective. So learning how to easily recognize and flow with the client to help them change their perspective of where they are is going to help them get unstuck. And that's the biggest one. If they're really stuck in an idea, using this technique helps them balance it out, reduce the overwhelm, and get the clarity that they need. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so chakra up and down is one of those modalities that really blends in with everything that you do in a session, right? Because even if you're just in a coaching or a Reiki session, for example, there's always those 10 or 15 minutes before and after the actual healing takes place where you're talking with the client, where you're listening to what they've been experiencing, what they're struggling with. And then after you're hearing them talk about how it impacted them and how they're going to take it moving forward. And I think we've all had that experience where we can tell that maybe they're really up in, like Christine said, that big picture energy. Maybe they go up into their crown chakra during the Reiki session, or maybe they're really bogged down in the details of like, that feels great, but I don't know how I'm going to keep it moving. And I have all of these things to do this week, and I don't understand how I'm supposed to continue to feel this good, et cetera, et cetera. And so chakra up and down really comes down to being an amazing communication tool to be able to guide our clients into a more balanced state of energy and state of mind.
Yes. All right. Coaching technique number 5 is future envisioning. And I feel like all Reiki practitioners should know this one because it's so similar to being able to offer guided meditations. It allows us to take our client on a guided journey to envision their desired reality, taking the steps to make it seem possible, achievable, and clear. And so you're learning things like, are they associated in that vision, or are they disassociated in that vision? What does it mean? Why do you want to use both? All of those, visual processes and tuning into all 5 senses during the process can make it feel more real and really bring in that manifesting energy. So this one is a great complement to pair with SMART goals, 5D chakra upgrade, and numerous other techniques. When in even like, for example, I had a client come to me and they were like, I'm really nervous about this event that I'm going to do. I'm just so petrified that this is the first time I'm going to teach a Reiki master's class. What do I do? And I just I hit the pause button. Go, let me do this in future envisioning technique to after the event happens. And it just washed over her the sense of calm and peace and knowingness that it was all going to work out right. It was like 5 minutes and anxiety gone, right? And so it's a beautiful technique, whether you use it for a 5-minute dip my toe in with the client, or you do a 45-minute session with them on this. So it's very flexible, and we get to get into all the nitty-gritty details within the course.
Yes. And so future envisioning is one of those modalities where from the outside looking in, it looks just like a guided meditation. But as the coach, there are so many components and layers to it that help you make that experience for the client truly transformational on so many levels by bringing in both the spiritual perspective, but also the psychological understanding of what's happening in your client's mind as they're going through this process, and how can we guide them through it so that they're not just off on their own kind of flowing wherever they want, but it's more of a structured, guided, truly guided meditation to be able to enhance the feelings that they want to have while releasing those limiting beliefs and fears and things that they don't want to hold on to. And so this is really fantastic, especially if you think about third eye energy, right? This really brings in that ability to look into the future and see what's coming next, while also inviting in that inspiration, those desires of what they want, and making them feel safe to be able to claim those in their current reality and say, this is what I want. This is where I see myself going. And it's a fantastic tool. All of these are fantastic tools to also know how to use on yourself, because this is something where when you step into the Reiki coaching program, yes, you're learning how to facilitate these changes in others. Yes, you're learning how to use these techniques in session, but you're also learning how to coach yourself through whatever life brings your way so that you feel truly like that confident, empowered, embodied practitioner, and you know how to help your client heal because you've healed yourself first.
Absolutely. And that brings us to coaching technique number 6, the 5D chakra upgrade. So the 5D chakra upgrade is a coaching tool to motivate both the conscious and subconscious mind to make changes in the client's life. So we're taking the energy of possibility and expansion, and we imprint this into each chakra, upgrading them to their aligned desired realities. So what does that mean? We have to, and so it kind of blends with a couple of these techniques. We get to go through the client going, what's your life like right now? What's your current reality? And then we get to go for each of the chakras. What's your current reality for each chakra? And they get to self-discover. They get to self-discover, this is where my solar plexus is right now. What does that look like? What does that mean? And then we get to bring them to a place of honing in and embodying the energy of their desired reality and going, now where are your chakras at? And if we can identify the difference between the two, we get to mind the gap. So the individual can start adhering to their desired orientated energy of their desired reality, and we imprint that in on their energetic coding. So we take the desired reality of their chakras and we imprint it on them so that and this is very much used as a Reiki tool to bring that energy forward and imprint it on their chakras. It's beautiful. I love doing this one.
Yes. So again, this is really where we see how can we take that transformation that occurs on an energetic level in a Reiki session and really pull it into the client's life and all the other aspects. And so 5D chakra upgrade is amazing because as you learn in the course, your chakras have a very deep connection to your subconscious mind. And so when we can alter and enhance the energetic state of the chakras themselves, it's a direct way to impact what's happening in the subconscious mind. And so through 5D chakra upgrade, it's literally like you are upgrading the software on a computer. You are upgrading your energetic blueprint to be aligned to what you were brought here to do, what your passion and purpose is, and what your desires are calling you forward to achieve and experience.
Absolutely.
So that brings us to coaching technique number 7, which is, other than embodying metaphors, my absolute favorite. And it's also one that we developed in-house, right? This is something that you're not really going to find anywhere else. This is a Reiki Cafe special, if you will, and it's called Soul Speak. And so what Soul Speak allows us to do is connect to our truest, highest, most pure selves, AKA our soul, and give that space within a voice that is as clear as the mind. So we live in a society that really prizes the idea of the intellect and of thought, right? And so when we step into Soul Speak, what's happening is we're looking at how we've all been trained to hear our thoughts really quickly. If I asked you all, what are you thinking right now? You could probably tell me because you're hearing those words or you're thinking your thoughts. But if I were to ask you what your intuition is feeling right now, it's probably not going to be as automatic of an answer because we've been trained to focus on our mind and quiet the voice of the intuition. And so what Soul Speak trains the client to do is be able to give a voice to their intuition that is just as strong and just as clear as the mind, so that we can open up a pathway to receiving the perfect answers for us in each moment 24/7, because your soul is really this space within you that is connected to the divine, to God, universe, source, whatever resonates for you there, in a really intrinsic way, right? It is that part within us that is divine. And so by being the all that is within us, it has all the answers. It has all the truth. It has everything we need to know in the moment, but we have not been trained how to utilize that voice, how to listen to it in a way that is clear so that we know what our intuition is feeling as easily as we know what our mind is thinking. And so this is, for me, again, just like embodying metaphors, it's one of those techniques that create such a tangible shift in perspective because you're literally introducing yourself to a part of you that, for the most part, you haven't met yet. Right? We all have our gut instincts. We all have those intuitive nudges, and Soul Speak allows us to take those and enhance them so that it becomes a regular, open part of our day-to-day life. And so Soul Speak is really good for, again, enhancing that intuition, increasing feelings of self-trust, because something that is intrinsic to all of these coaching modalities that we're sharing is this element of being able to trust yourself. And so Soul Speak is really good at enhancing that feeling of trust and helping you to practice that. It's also really good for calming the mind, right? Calming the thoughts that are going round and round and round, opening up our crown chakra and finding balance in our heart, because we're playing that kind of seesaw role between going back and forth between our mind and our intuition so that we don't feel stuck in one space or the other, but we have the power to be able to choose which part within us we're listening to. And again, just creating that new worldview. And so this is, again, it's a really beautiful technique for bringing in both that spiritual and physical perspective and melding them in a really powerful, potent, and profound coaching technique.
Absolutely. Woo! So now we got to tie it all together. So what's it like being a Reiki coaching student? Gosh, I love teaching this because it's like watching a student come in with fears, doubts, subconscious limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, unsure of what their role is going to be and where they want to be going, to having these transformation and embodiments happen with this energy that comes through, and really dive into having the clarity and the knowingness that they are worthy to have their desired reality. They're worthy of their business. They're worthy to create outside of the box. They're worthy to blend their modalities together and however it looks for them. And that is just a beautiful and honored process for us as professors to walk with you on. Once again, we're not trying to give you all of the answers, but we're able to hold a sacred space and container for you to do the transformational work, which is unlike most coaching trainings. Part of it is because we keep the classes small. We don't have 50 people in it and it's just here, learn this and practice it. No, it's learn, embody, practice, and then now prosper. We cover it all.
Absolutely. And so, of course, you can hear our perspective on it. You can hear how powerful we've found it. You can go on our website and see the testimonials from students, but it's also, we believe, important to be able to see it from the inside, right? We don't want you to just take our word for it, but we want to give you opportunities to experience what it's like being a student before you even step foot in our virtual classroom. And so if you have listened to last week's podcast, you'll know that one of our wonderful Reiki coaching students, Nancy, came on the podcast and shared her very raw, real, and open experience with Reiki coaching and how she found the program. So if you haven't listened to that podcast yet, hop on over. It's called Finding Your Reiki Glow with Nancy Mikomuso. And so it's fantastic. And of course, the title rhymes, which makes it even better. And then this coming Friday, so February 17th, we will be having a Soul Speak demo with one of our Reiki coaching grads on the podcast. So if you are intrigued by what it's like to not only experience, but also facilitate a session using one of these coaching techniques, this is going to be a really amazing look into what the end goal of being a Reiki coaching grad looks like, sounds like, and how transformational it can be for a client. And so we're giving you these kind of two perspectives, both the student perspective of what it's like to actually be in the program, to be doing the work, the learning, and what that causes, that transformation that happens in your life after the program, and also what it looks like to use those skills in real time and perceive the transformation your client is having. So these are really fantastic opportunities to look into the life of a Reiki coaching student and see how this changes your life, this changes your practice, and this changes your perspective on healing. And so if you've listened to these, if you're on this webinar right now, and of course, as Nancy shares in the Finding Your Reiki Glow podcast, if this is setting your soul on fire and your heart is calling out to you, we are actually open right now for our Reiki coaching program. And so Christine's going to tell you all about that while I get ready for our giveaway. So if you haven't yet, comment and we will add you into our giveaway in just a bit.
Awesome. And know too that I'm also going to be doing a Dissolve a Limiting Belief presentation on Friday as well. So you're going to have lots of opportunities to kind of see and experience what it would be like to be a Reiki coaching student. So if your limiting belief is, I don't have enough money, or I'm not worthy of, or whatever it may be, come join me for that one as well. All right. I am going to switch gears here for just a moment while Izzy takes down all of your names for that drawing, and I just want to do a little recap. So now that you understand what coaching is and how it can make a significant impact on your confidence in facilitating sessions, and see how all of your own limiting beliefs have got some work to do. Even if you're new to having a Reiki practice, even if you're new to embodiment and shadow work, with all of that said, I want to know how you are feeling about honoring your own healing process. Give me a yes in the chat if you're ready for healing, if you're ready to stand in your authentic truth and to be a masterful practitioner you know you are meant to be. So today you learned about a new approach to Reiki sessions, the possibility to step out of the traditional 60-minute session restrictive box and open up to the expansive nature of Reiki coaching, a space that is transformative for your clients, and you get to walk the honored path with them in sacred space as a facilitator. And through our Reiki coaching certification program, you'll learn how to do this with grace and ease and be inspired to create your own Reiki coaching packages to move beyond the limitations of a 60-minute session, its impact and its income. I'd love to invite you to go deeper with us in our Reiki coaching certification program, designed for Reiki practitioners just like you who are ready to ditch their limiting beliefs, traumas, and anxieties, heal from within, claim your confidence, and add additional tools to your toolbox so you can help yourself and your clients heal. In doing so, you'll learn all there is to know about the chakras, discover the power of 7 transformational coaching techniques that we cover today, create an empowered community of like-minded souls, and discover who you truly are as a masterful practitioner. You'll learn how to use the power of connection and conversation to create transformational experiences and results in your client sessions, harnessing the power of what Reiki can do beyond the table. Reiki coaching will help you go from a struggling Reiki practitioner to an empowered healer. This 5-month training is a step-by-step, easy to follow process to help you awaken your inner confidence, develop the skills, trust your intuition, and learn how to enhance your Reiki practice to heal yourself and your clients on all levels. We cover things like the 7 transformational coaching techniques every practitioner should know, discover and uncover your intuition, how the chakras impact your life, and how to harness the power for healing others, how to structure the space before and after your Reiki session for ultimate potency, and how to take this knowledge and transform it into a prosperous business. Yes, business sessions and support are included. Now, I'm not going to pretend that we're the only experts on Reiki or coaching. There are plenty of coaching programs out there to help guide your clients through their struggles. What makes our program different is that we specifically support Reiki practitioners and help you and teach you how to blend Reiki with coaching techniques. I recognize Reiki's practitioners' stumbling blocks in both confidence and business skills. I figured out how to teach the skills, instill the confidence, and the business know-how. I break it down with a clear methodology to support you to go from that stumbling on your words, not sure what to say, if it's too much or not enough talking during your session, to the clear and confident, masterful practitioner holding sacred conversations that lead to awe-inspiring aha moments for your clients. In the Reiki coaching certification, you'll get pre-recorded videos organized by the 7 chakras, starting at root chakra to the crown. You'll receive training videos, activating actions, guided meditations, and workbooks. Join us for weekly live calls that include training calls, group coaching calls, practicum calls, and the business support calls. But wait, there's more. We also have a Facebook group and chat for accountability. Now, of course, I'm sharing my program like it's the best out there. That's why we have numerous guests on our podcast and on the website so that you can hear from other students as well. Did you hear Nancy's podcast on discovering her Reiki glow? That was powerful. So if you want to learn how to be empowered, masterful practitioner, truly heal and break the cycles you've been stuck in with no more imposter syndrome, experience profound transformation and witness that for others as well, manifest the life and practice living your dreams, and create the business that supports you on all levels, then this program is for you. Let me break it down. Each part of the program. We have the personal development through the chakras. If you can heal ourselves, first, we can fully recognize that energy in ourselves versus our clients and during the session. That's why we're going to bust through your limiting beliefs, embrace your intuition, and hone in on your passion and purpose. Transformation through coaching. We teach you 7 amazing coaching techniques to help you support your clients no matter what they're experiencing. We blend techniques like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, life coaching, energetic techniques, spiritual support, and more to create a coaching practice that covers all of your bases with Reiki as the foundation. And there is no bro marketing here. You're not going to find that. We're talking embodied facilitation. We don't just teach you the skills and then leave you high and dry. We support you through the process of implementing what you've learned for your own healing. Through practicums, demonstrations, and more, we're going to make sure the information doesn't just stay in your brain. It integrates into your body and your energy too. And all the while learning business development to grow your clientele. The program is revolutionary. The only course in the market to combine powerful coaching techniques with the healing power of Reiki that we all know and love. This course helps you take your practice to the next level, and we are here to guide you each step of the way. This isn't a cookie cutter course. It is tailored to create a unique experience for every student. You'll get the pre-recorded content, live calls, practice workbooks, guided meditations, new trainings, group support, and personalized attention so that you can release the limiting beliefs, embody your confidence, your truth, and become the masterful facilitator of sacred and transformational conversations. It all starts here. So click the link, fill out your application, and now it's time to do our drawing, and let's see if we can apply a scholarship to that application as well.
I'm so excited. I've been like doing little happy dances in the background here. This is just, oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so we're going to be doing a $350 scholarship, a $250 scholarship, and a $150 scholarship. So we've got people here with us on Zoom and a couple people over on YouTube. So let's start with our $350 scholarship is going to go to Rebecca Cascio. I think I'm pronouncing your name right. Rebecca Cascio, yay! $350 scholarship for Rebecca. So excited. Be sure to fill out your application and we will apply that. Okay, so now we've got our $250 scholarship is going to go to Casey Jade, who's with us on YouTube. So Casey, if you're still watching, fill out your application. We will be in touch about your scholarship. Congratulations. And then lastly, we have our $150 scholarship. All my pieces of paper are getting all joined together. Okay. Our $150 scholarship goes to Louise Cruz, who's with us here on the Zoom chat. So congratulations to everyone. Christine,
I need to do one more. Let's do a $500 as well.
$500 scholarship. Okay. $500 scholarship is going to, let's see here. I'm going to really mix it up this time. All right. $500 scholarship is going to Melissa Schumacher, who's with us here on the call. Oh, look at the smile. Yay. Okay. Congratulations, Melissa. So exciting. Fill out your application. And like I said, every one of you who has received a scholarship or whether you haven't, and you're just so excited to join this program, fill out your application. We'll be in touch with next steps. And just remember that this is the first step on your journey. And sometimes the first step is the hardest. So fill out your application and know that we'll be there to support you all along the way. And we're just so excited. So congratulations to all of our scholarship winners today.
Yay. I love it. So before we hop off, I'll just give everyone a couple minutes. If there's any questions, if you have anything to ask me or Izzy regarding the Reiki coaching program, I'm happy to stay on a few minutes if you have questions. Know that there is no, if you fill out your application and you decide this isn't for you, that's okay. There's no like guarantee that you have to join the program if you fill out your application. So fill out the application if you're interested in the program. And what it's going to do is just give us background information. So when we do jump on a call, I know what you have experienced in the past, what your spiritual background is, what trainings you've had, and that will give me the availability to come to that call prepared. That's really what it's for. We want to make sure that we have a chance to connect with all of our potential students before they join the program to really make sure that this is the right program for you. So and it's always a case-by-case basis. We have had students who have filled out applications that I'm like, you know what, I think this is really going to be too basics for you. You've already taken NLP, maybe try, this would be another program that would be more beneficial, or vice versa. Perhaps, we've had people come on and they haven't had their Reiki training yet. And so we have to have conversations around that. So wherever you're at, there's no obligation to fill out the application and just have a conversation with us. And we'd be love to do that.
Right. And I think, again, like we shared, we really try to make sure that this isn't a cookie cutter program. Like, we don't just want students to come in so that we have like 50 students, we can be like, look, and then we're overwhelmed with you guys. We want to make sure that we're really personalizing the experience, because this isn't something that you can learn effectively and in a really profound way unless you have that personal support, unless we're really taking the time to get to know you. And so that's something that you'll see again and again in this program, is we really do make an effort to learn about you, make sure that we are up to date with what you're working on, what your aha moments have been, what we can support you with. We ask all of our students, like, you have all of these amazing avenues for support, but what else can we be doing to make sure that you feel supported and accountable during your learning journey? And so again, filling out your application is just the first step in allowing us to get an inside look into who you are, why you want to join this program, and how we can support you along the way. So Stacy Wolf asked, is this a self-paced course and can you rewatch the video? So yes and no. It's a 5-month container where we move through the chakras every 2.5 weeks. And so every 2.5 weeks, a new module will open, which includes new videos, new workbooks, new trainings, and new live calls. So within the 2.5 weeks, it is completely self-paced. And of course, you can go back and revisit the videos again and again. You do get lifetime access to all of the course content. So after the course has finished, if you want to go back and retake it, like Nancy shared in her podcast on Friday, you get something new out of it every time you go back to the information. So we really want to make sure that you have that access. But it is a 5-month container, and we do have items that we want you to complete in order to graduate and become certified as a coach, so that we know and you feel confident in your skills and in your ability. So it's a bit of a hybrid of, we have our live calls, we have that 5-month container, and within that 5-month container, we're really flexible about supporting you where you are and making sure that you're moving through the program and the content at a pace that feels really good for you.
Yeah. It's very different from the course that I took to get my coaching training, where it was a year-long program. And but the moment that 12-month came, poof, gone, no longer have access. So we really want to support you to continue your learning within the program and even after. So if you're interested, if you're like, yes, this sounds amazing, fill out your application, hop on a call with us. Know that we do offer payment plans. So if you got a little sticker shock, know that we work with you and we want to give back and meet you where you're at. So go ahead, fill out your application, book the call. On the website, you're also going to find a book a call link. So you're going to want to fill out your application and you're going to want to book a call with Izzy or myself. And if you're like, I'm confused, just message us on Facebook Messenger. Izzy and I are happy to chat with you there as well. Okay? Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And congratulations, everyone, to our scholarship winners. And we will see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.